In the aftermath of Hamas's October 7th attacks, Hezbollah swiftly launched its own assault along Israel's northern border. Israeli forces responded with fierce artillery fire, airstrikes, and relentless machine gun blasts, igniting daily clashes between the two sides. Surprisingly, despite the escalating violence, a full-scale regional war has yet to erupt. However, with over 100,000 Israeli and 76,000 Lebanese civilians displaced, the situation teeters on the edge of catastrophe. Speculation abounds about Hezbollah's intentions. Are they waiting for the perfect moment to strike, or are unseen forces holding them back? Meanwhile, the IDF grapples with adapting its tactics to this unyielding adversary. Amidst the chaos, Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasara, looms large, his declarations of solidarity with Hamas contrasting with assurances of no imminent war. In this volatile dance of power and peril, the fate of nations hangs in the balance, as each day dawns with the ominous promise of either peace or cataclysmic conflict. Join us. We are going to inform you all about the Israeli conflict against Hezbollah. After the October 7th attacks, a soldier shared insights on the situation. Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasara, expressed solidarity with Hamas. Later, on November 11th, Hezbollah's leader assured the world that a major war with Israel was unlikely. Despite this, there have been continued strikes along the border and drone attacks deep within Lebanon. Lieutenant Colonel Don Razil, an IDF brigade commander stationed in the north, highlighted the shift in tactics from offense to defense for Israeli soldiers. The ongoing violence has resulted in casualties, with 171 Hezbollah fighters, 9 IDF soldiers, and 26 civilians dead. In response, Israeli forces hastily reissued a 68-year-old training manual to over 3,000 reservists, emphasizing classic infantry techniques for fortification, including the construction of reinforced foxholes. This historical manual, titled The Rifle Department, serves as a reminder of Israel's long-standing military tradition and resilience. Trenches are being dug along the border at Han, a deserted village with a population of around 740 people for the last 4 months. Located just 1,000 feet from the border, it's within range of Hezbollah's small arms. Israeli civilians have evacuated to escape rocket attacks from Hezbollah. Farms in northern Israel are now sparsely manned, with only a few workers tending to them briefly during the day, sometimes. Lieutenant Colonel Reilly explained the need for units to learn defensive tactics, stating, "We had to teach units how to start defending. We got better at it because we trained, and we moved our forces and we built posts, and we're more ready." For more than 4 months, life on both sides of the border has been stuck in a difficult situation. The pressure is growing as people on both sides want a solution. Additionally, 117,000 Israeli citizens were forced to leave their homes in the south near Gaza. The roads leading to the border are mostly empty now, unlike before. Highways like Route 8890 are controlled and watched over by the Israeli military. Checkpoints manned by IDF soldiers have been set up to inspect all civilian vehicles heading north. Heavy military vehicles like the Marava tank and the Namare infantry fighting vehicle are now commonly seen in the area. Israel is pushing for a buffer zone with Hezbollah to stop the fighting, but Hezbollah refuses to agree until Israel stops its actions in Gaza. The situation seems puzzling and sometimes conflicting at first glance, despite frequent clashes, with as many as a dozen occurring daily between Lebanese Hezbollah and the IDF in the north. It appears that Hezbollah is holding back from fully engaging in a major conflict. The leader of Hezbollah, Nasara, stated, "Some say, I'm going to announce that we have entered the battle. We already entered the battle on October 8th. According to him, their cross-border strikes have diverted Israeli attention away from Hamas and Gaza. Hezbollah's political bureau expressed the need for more from their allies. But these controlled actions become clearer when we dig deeper, as there are hidden connections linking Hamas to other non-government groups in the region, which subtly influence each other, creating a kind of coordinated chaos of rebel violence. Groups like the Houthis and Hamas work together because they are both connected to a larger, and more influential player in the region, Iran. Hezbollah stands out as Iran's oldest, most organized, and largest proxy force in Lebanon. In 2021, Hezbollah's leader boasted that the group's militant wing comprised over 100,000 fighters, though experts believe the number is closer to 50,000. According to a 2021 report by CSS, the group is believed to possess up to 130,000 rockets, including various types designed for air defense, anti-tank, anti-ship, and land attack purposes. The situation between Israel and Hezbollah is serious. Hezbollah's ability to fire rockets into Israel has mostly stopped for now. However, if Hezbollah were to start a full-scale war, they would target Israel's important facilities like power plants, electricity systems, and water purification plants. According to a report by former high-ranking security officials and experts, including the former head of Israeli military intelligence, such a war would greatly harm Israel. Hezbollah's goals align with other groups supported by Iran in the region, aiming to create chaos to pressure Israel into stopping military actions against Hamas. But Hezbollah's commitment to this cause has limits. Some believe that Hezbollah's missile stockpile serves as a deterrent to protect Iran's nuclear sites from Israeli airstrikes. Despite this, some advisors suggest that Hezbollah should seize the opportunity to strike preemptively against Israel, their stronger adversary. Israel was on the brink of war with Hezbollah, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu decided against it, likely because he wanted to focus on Gaza instead. Most of the fighting along this border involves long-range attacks using airstrikes, rockets, tanks, and artillery, along with some small arms fire. The distance between the sides makes it hard to spot targets clearly, and it's tough to know exactly what's happening on the ground, especially since Israel limits journalist access to war zones. Hezbollah isn't welcoming Fox News correspondents to embed with them anytime soon. Despite this, Hezbollah continues to launch rocket and mortar attacks into northern Israel, often hitting both security outposts and civilian areas. Israel responds by quickly locating Hezbollah's firing positions and launching drone strikes and artillery counterattacks. In November, the terror group Hezbollah made their attacks more complicated by using multiple armed drones to target 19 IDF positions along the border. These drones, coming from Iran, are precise and can cause significant damage. Hezbollah aims to neutralize Israel's missile defense by taking out their surveillance systems before using less accurate rockets to hit vulnerable targets. This strategy may explain why there hasn't been a major escalation, as Hezbollah knows they need to disable Israel's air defense completely for their full arsenal to be effective. On November 22nd, Hezbollah announced that they would honor the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Meanwhile, there's been ongoing low-intensity conflict with daily rocket, small arms, and artillery exchanges across the border. Attacks on US bases in the Middle East have also increased as Iranian-backed militias put pressure on the US for supporting Israel. In January, Israeli forces intensified pressure on Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iranian military leaders through raids, targeted killings, and drone strikes. There have been concerns about these strikes leading to further escalation at the border, but so far, that hasn't happened. When we look at diplomatic statements, both sides seem to want to avoid escalation. Mark Rev, an advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, mentioned that Israel aims for targeted strikes against key leaders of Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Iranian Republic Guard Corps in Lebanon. On February the 7th, drones were spotted over a Lebanese village, and it's believed they killed Hezbollah commander Abbas Alez. The United States is interested in calming the situation. There's a proposal for Hezbollah to move its troops north, creating a buffer zone with the Lebanese army, a significant step after previous conflicts. Despite past agreements, Hezbollah has been active near the Israeli border. The hope is that negotiations can prevent further clashes between Hezbollah and Israel, building on previous agreements. Whether Israel and Hezbollah agree to a ceasefire has significant implications for the United States. The likely scenario is that Hezbollah is willing to deploy some fighters and weapons to engage Israeli forces in the north, but is hesitant to expand the conflict further. It's important to note that Hezbollah is not just a militant group, but also a political organization with representation in Lebanese government positions. A full-scale war with Israel would endanger further their political gains. As the fighting continues, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. For more updates on the conflict, follow me at Cappy Army. If you found this video helpful, check out our other videos on Hezbollah to learn more about their origins. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments section.